Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Shannon and I'm a professional pet portrait and wildlife artist, and I specialise in coloured pencils. And here on my channel I've got a video all about how I usually create the outlines for my coloured pencil drawings, and in that video I got into the tracing paper method. But today we're going to try out a different method that I've never used before, and that is using an art projector to project the reference photo onto the paper or a canvas or whatever it is that you're using that you can then trace around to create that initial outline. And the projector that I'm using today is the Pico Genie Impact 2 Plus Elite projector. Now the great thing about this projector, as you might be able to see, is how small it is. So this is a portable projector that you can take on the go with you anywhere, and it's really easy to move around and project onto different surfaces. It's got a standard tripod thread, so you can easily mount it onto a tripod, which is perfect for tracing outlines because it means that I can attach it to my gooseneck tripod that I have above my desk. Now, projectors are a great tool for realism artists because you can enlarge a reference to your desired size and transfer an accurate image onto your paper or canvas. This is particularly useful if you're creating large-scale work. I often have to piece together lots of pieces of tracing paper like a jigsaw, and it's a little bit more time consuming and requires more effort. But with this you can enlarge it directly onto your surface and it saves lots of faffing around. So if you're an artist that creates a lot of commissions or original artwork like I do pet portraits, having a projector will really save you a lot of time, and as you'll know, time is one of the most precious commodities for us artists. So let's talk a little bit about tracing and whether or not it's considered cheating. Now, some artists believe that tracing, whether using a projector, tracing paper or transfer paper, is in fact cheating and diminishes the value of your artwork. But as I discussed in my previous outlines video, I do not believe this to be the case at all. In fact, I think tracing is a really valuable tool that we can use to capture a more accurate reality in a timely manner. The reality of being a professional artist, whether you're full-time or part-time, is that you end up working really long hours on each piece, with one portrait often taking days, if not weeks, and sometimes months to finish. So unless you're charging really high rates for your work, you're going to struggle to make money as an artist. So you need to be realistic about where you can save time when creating your art. And if you can shave that time down a little bit by using a tool that's provided, then I don't see the problem in that at all. And finally, a lot of the greatest artists of all time have used tools such as the camera obscura to project their image onto their surface. Think artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Norman Rockwell, and plenty more have openly admitted to using tools such as this, and I'm sure there are lots more that wouldn't want to admit it because of the stigma that's around tracing. So if artists such as Da Vinci are using tracing, then I think we're alright to do the same. So with this in mind, let's test out the Pico Genie Impact 2 Plus Elite projector. Pico Genie have a variety of different projector models for artists, but I chose the Impact 2 Plus Elite because of its size and how portable it is. I don't have a lot of space in my studio to store things, so this size would be great for me, and you can easily take it anywhere with you. It's 4K compatible, has a zoom in and out feature and a built-in battery, so it doesn't need to be plugged into a main supply and lasts up to around 2 hours. I have an outline I need to do for a practice drawing of a hare for an upcoming in-person workshop, so I'm gonna try this projector out on this, mounting it onto my Manfrotto arm, which attaches to the Manfrotto super clamp. I'll leave a link down below to both of these. This is going to be a smaller scale drawing, but we are going to practice on a larger scale one in this video as well to compare the two. I set the image up by connecting via AirPlay from my MacBook, and as you can see I had to turn the image upside down so that it was the right way around when I went to project it. You can connect to it through an app on your phone called eShare as well. I just prefer using my laptop for things like this, but it is handy being able to connect via your phone. So whatever method it is you're using to connect the projector to your device, once it's all set up, you can begin tracing the image onto your paper. This projector is really crisp and clear when you're using it on your tabletop like this for a smaller scale image, and I really enjoyed using it. This would be very handy when I'm creating multiple outlines for my workshops. Usually it takes me a few hours to do that with the tracing paper method or graphite paper. Also, for some reason the camera does not like filming this projector. It makes the colours go all flickery and rainbow, so I promise it doesn't do that in real life. So once you've finished working on your outline, you can turn the projector off, and what you're left with is a lovely, clean, perfectly proportioned line drawing. I've just opened my blinds to finally get a bit of daylight in here, and I can't believe how well that line drawing came out and how easy that was to do. It took me a little bit of fiddling to get the right size for the paper. You can zoom in and out, but you have to go into the settings of the projector to do that. There isn't an option to do it on the remote, so you do have to have a little bit of a fiddle to get the right size, but that has turned out so well. And the one thing that I love about this is you don't have to faff around with drawing the outline multiple times. So if you've ever used tracing paper before, you'll know that you have to draw it at least twice to get the outline down, because you draw on one side of the paper and then flip it over and draw on the other side to transfer the outline. So unless you're reflecting the image and doing it back to front, you're going to have to do it 3 times. So doing it once instead of 2 or 3 times is such a time saver, and I can imagine this saving even more time drawing larger scale as well. I think if I'm going to do something bigger, I'm better off projecting it against the wall and sticking the paper up there, because otherwise I don't think I'll be able to get the projector high enough away from the desk. So I think I will try it out on something larger scale as well. So now I'm going to use the teeny tiny little tripod that comes with the projector to try projecting it against the wall. I don't know why, but when the projector's set up like this, it looks really cute and adorable. It reminds me of Wall-E. This is the image that I'm going to project. It's one of my own references that I took while I was out in Kenya, and I really want to have a go at doing a slightly larger piece with this elephant. So I'm spending a little bit of time getting the size of the image right onto my pastel matte paper. This is the setting that you need to go into to change the zoom of the projector. Once I had my desired size, I stuck my paper to the wall and began tracing the outline. The image wasn't as crisp and clear as when I had it on my desk, but in hindsight, I feel I should have moved the projector a little bit closer to the wall to make it as crisp and clear as possible. But for this piece, because I'm going to do a much looser pastel style, it doesn't really matter about getting every single little detail in. Once again, it took me very little time before I was finished with the outline and I could see how it was looking. And I'm really pleased with the results of this projector. Just on a side note, you can use this projector to watch TV as well. You can watch YouTube, Netflix. I think it'd be really handy if you were going camping or to a little shepherd's hut somewhere. You just need to make sure you've got a battery pack to keep it charged. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been helpful seeing a demonstration of the Pico Genie Impact 2 Plus Elite projector. I will leave my affiliate link in the description down below if you're interested in purchasing this projector, and Pico Genie will know that you came from my video. Let me know which method you're currently using to draw outlines in the comment section, and let me know if you've got any questions as well. It'd be great if you could give this video a like because it really does help my channel out. Subscribe to see more art related videos and I'll see you in the next one. So bye for now.